Good morning, students. Today we shall present a topic on India's logistics sector. Right? Now, students, India's logistics sector, right, as a matter of fact, for any country, logistics sector is very important. Logistics sector talks about your transportation, right, and connectivity, right, and logistics includes your physical or economic infrastructure which builds connectivity or which provides connectivity, right. For example, logistics includes your roadways, railways, aviation, the ports, the ships, right, the shipping sector and the coastal shipping sector activity and your inland water transport, right. A combination of these multiple modes of transport is known as a multimodal transport network or integrated logistics framework. So, students, logistics sector is basically, right, providing connectivity to your goods and services. An efficient logistics sector will make your manufacturing more competitive, right, and you will also gain competitiveness in the exports sector. And coming to India, India's weakness remains in its logistics sector or logistics activity. Because we do not have a strong logistics sector, there is an increase in the cost of raw material and there is an increase in the cost of the finished product. For example, right, due to poor logistics, a product which has to be sold at 100 rupees is being sold at 114 rupees. So that makes your manufacturing sector incompetent and also you will lose your edge in exports. So it becomes very important to discuss about the logistics sector or logistics activity in India. Logistics, again, students, remember, is your connectivity, right, or connectivity or transportation of goods and services, transportation of goods and services from the source to the destination, right. That is, let's say, from raw material, it's a coal, transported from the coal mine to the thermal power plant, right, or from the factory to the destination. Source to the, basically, it's about connecting your connecting the source to the destination, logistics sector. Right, now students, right, now this is in the news recently because the World Bank has released what is called the Logistics Performance Index report. Now what is the Logistics Performance Index report, right? Now the Logistics Performance Index report released by the World Bank ranks nations based on the efficiency of their logistics or the efficiency of their logistics sector, right. Now if you look at the performance of India as far as the World Bank's Logistics Performance Index report is concerned, right, India has improved its ranking in the Logistics Performance Index, right, 2023, moving up to 22nd rank in the international, right, shipments category, and securing the 38th rank in the Logistics Performance Index. So we are there in the top 40 as far as the we are there in the top 40 as far as the logistics sector is concerned, right. Now substantial reduction in dwelling time and efficient turnaround time at Indian ports. Students, what is this turnaround time? Turnaround time is the time taken, right, when your goods reach the ports, right, and the time taken to unload the cargo and then transport it is known as the turnaround time. The lesser the turnaround time, the more efficient is your logistics, right. Okay, then investments in port infrastructure, technological advancements, public-private partnerships and reforms, right. So India has done a lot of work in the last 10 years, right, regarding improving the port infrastructure is concerned, right. That is, your infrastructure is, right, let's say the connectivity in the ports, right. Let's say the rail infrastructure in the ports, the transport infrastructure in the ports, right, the transportation, all this becomes part of your port infrastructure. Then technology, we are using a lot of technology as far as logistics is concerned, technological advancement, right. Then public-private partnerships, the private sector is now being made an active partner in the port sector, right. And then reforms in the logistics sector. For example, we are moving towards what is called an integrated logistics framework, that is a multimodal transport network connecting the road to the rail, rail to the aviation, aviation to the ports, and ports to the inland water transport. A multimodal transport network, or an integrated logistics framework policy, which has now taken the shape of what is called the Pradhana Mantri Gati Shakti Yojana, right, improving the performance of the logistics sector. And certain reforms such as the SWIFT initiative, the special window interface for trade and transportation, right. Now all these are the various reforms undertaken by the government. Then if you look at the other highlight important aspects of the report, right, the value of operationalization of PPP projects, right. See, the PPP, the public-private partnership projects also have to be operable, right, they have to be economically viable. So if you take up a project and if you include the private partner in it, end of the day the private partner also has to earn a return on his investment. So how do you operationalize the PPP projects, and how do you earn a return on your investment, right? Value of operationalization of the PPP projects, how do you make it operable and economically viable, right? Then focus on decarbonization, right? So we are all moving towards, right, a greener economy, right, a less carbon economy, reducing the carbon footprint, right. So this is moving towards a more greener economy and use of renewable energy for the logistics sector, for example, right, solar energy, biofuel, right. Then making use of technology, the National Logistics Portal, Marine and Sagar Setu app has facilitated the seamless movement of goods and services in ports. So within ports, seamless is without any restrictions. So making use of technology, portal, app-based technologies, right. Key policy and legislative reforms including your Major Port Authorities Act, that is, there are 12 major ports in India, 12 plus 2, 14, right. So how do you improve the performance of those ports? How do you improve the port infrastructure, right? Your Major Ports Authorities Act, Marine Aids to the Navigations Act, right? Then Indian Vessels Act have been undertaken to boost the port sector. Then of course you also have what is called the Project Bharatmala and Project Sagarmala. Bharatmala is improving your road network, and Sagarmala is improving the port network and connecting the hinterland to the ports. So you can also include Project Bharatmala and Sagarmala along with this. And along with this we also have what is called, now we have got the National Inland Waterways Authority, right? When we are trying to improve the inland waterways in India, about 106 have been identified, right? Now all these are the various initiatives to boost India's logistics sector, and also including your integrated logistics framework policy, the Pradhana Mantri Gati Shakti Yojana. Then if you look at the different statistics of status or of India's logistics sector, right? Now what is the current state of India's logistics sector, right? The logistics sector in India is predicted to account for 14% of the GDP, right? So look at its contribution to the GDP, right? Logistics. It will bring in investments, it will increase the volume of transportation of goods and services, reduces the time, makes it more cost efficient. So its contribution to the GDP is almost 15% each. And look at the employment potential. Close to 2.2 crore people are employed in India's logistics sector, and there is a lot of potential to increase the number of jobs in the logistics sector, and that's what is the objective of the government, right? Create as many jobs as possible, since we are a labor surplus economy, right? Then the logistics sector in India was valued at $250 billion in 2021, and is predicted to increase to an astounding, right, 380 billion US dollars by 2025, a healthy 10 to 12% year on year growth, right. So this explains the potential of India's logistics sector, its contribution to the GDP, the number of jobs it can create, and the kind of multiplier effects, the growth multiplier effect, the investment multiplier effect, etc., which it can induce into the economy. Then, moreover, the government is planning to reduce the logistics and supply chain cost in India from 14% to 10% of the GDP as per industry standards. I have told you, right? Due to inefficient connectivity or logistics, the cost of transportation is increasing. That makes your manufacturing and exports less competitive, right? So I have told you what has to come at rupees 100 is being priced at rupees 114 due to inefficient logistics. Yeah. So the idea is to bring down that 114 to 110 initially and make it more efficient down the lane, right, with an improvement in the logistics activities. Then naturally India's logistics sector, you know what is the nature of India's logistics sector, right, the kind of advantage it has, the kind of multiplier effects it can induce. It can attract investments, create jobs, contribute to economic growth and development, right, contribute to industrial growth, right. But along with it, right, logistics sector has several challenges, policy challenges, regulatory challenges, and structural challenges, right. Now one, poor infrastructure. Yeah, you know, in our country the state of infrastructure is very poor, so that automatically weakens your logistics also. Yeah, the intersectoral linkages will become weak, right. Now poor infrastructure is your poor physical or economic infrastructure, right. Your road, your railways, your ports, aviation, right, telecommunications, right, the poor state of connectivity or infrastructure. A lot of investments are needed in that sector. Fragmented and unorganized, right. India's logistics activity, they are not networked or connected to each other as in China and Japan. So they are all fragmented, right. The road is not connected to the rail is not connected to the ports, right. It's all fragmented and unorganized. So it has to be consolidated and made networked and made more organized, right. Yeah. Regulatory challenges, that's what I told you, right. So different ministries, for example, you got the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, right. Then you got your Ministry of Heavy Industries. So if you want your logistics sector to improve, then you got different ministries involved in it. Ministry of Finance, right, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So in this way, if you want your logistics sector, right, to give you benefits, right, the work of 8 to 10 ministries has to be coordinated, right. There has to be a lot of regulatory coordination between different departments of the government, which you know in India is weak, right. So a lot of regulatory challenges, you need a lot of coordination between the various ministries and departments for the logistics sector to perform or improve, right. Inefficient supply chain. Supply chain is your connectivity, right. Yeah, supply chain within the industry and from the industry connecting it to the outside market, right. Then technology, yes, as in today the adoption of technology is very low. Yeah, so a lot of work has to be done in inducing technology, right. And today you talk about disruptive technologies, artificial intelligence, yeah, Internet of Things, data analytics, all these are to be incorporated into the logistics sector to make it more technology enabled. And once you induce technology, yeah, it becomes faster and more efficient, right. Yes. And yes, yeah. Now, the government, yes, has launched what is called the National Logistics Policy, and we have got an integrated logistics frameworks policy, right. Now, what does this have, right? Integration of the digital system, make it more digitalized, right. Unified logistics interface, where one mode of transport or one mode of logistics, yes, has an interaction with the other mode of logistics, right. Development Corporation, logistics data bank project, right. Ease of logistics, right, like how we have the ease of doing business, right. Yeah, we now also have what is called ease of logistics, that is the seamless connectivity and transportation of goods and services. How efficient is your ecosystem in transporting goods and services, right. Yeah. From the source to the destination, right. let's say from the industry to the market. Yeah. Then system improvement group, right? Now since the logistics sector cannot be looked at in isolation, right? So within the logistics you have got multiple modes, and your logistics system has to interact with the government, right? Has to interact with other systems of the economy. Yeah. So you need a systems improvement group so that there is greater coordination and synergy. Yeah, for example, if you look at the way forward, right, what is being done, because for the next 25 years, the Amrit Kal, right, India's journey from the 75th to the 100th year, the importance of the logistics sector or significance of the logistics sector, right? Now, yeah, if you talk about it, yeah, what does it contain? The Gati Shakti program, which I explained to you, the integrated logistics framework, connecting the road to the rail, rail to the ports, ports to the aviation and to the inland water transport. The Gati Shakti program, Sagarmala, port connectivity, Bharatmala, road connectivity, right? With the government's focus on improving infrastructure and the rise of e-commerce, right? The sector is expected to be a key driver of economic growth in the country. Yes, students, so it's going to contribute to almost 15% of your growth momentum. And e-commerce, yes, is part of what is called the logistics economy, or e-commerce is integral to India's logistics economy, right? And its potential is to touch $400 billion by 2025. Yeah. Yes, thank you, students.